How's the audio on this? Yo, what's up, Scott? How's the audio? Yo, what's up, Scott? How's the audio, man? I haven't tried this setup before. How's that? Alicia's in here too. In case you're wondering, I'm putting on socks. Audio's good? Okay, good. Hello, Alicia. Thanks for stopping by. Unlike you, I have to wear socks. Oh, passed out baby. Whose baby? I'm gonna need you to send pictures of that baby. Yes, you will have to send pictures. How old? How old's the baby? Oh, you got a COVID-19 era baby. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent. Good here, life's still going on for people. I'm just, yeah. Definitely kids grow up fast, man. Time moves. Excellent. Is it a boy or a girl, Alicia? Born on shelter in place day. Oh, that's crazy. So, where are you? So, where are you guys living now? You in the same city? Is everyone there? Nice name. I like that. And once again, in case you're wondering, with my socks, I also wear flip-flops because I'm Californian like that. So I just wanted to get on here and connect with some people, find out what's going on. Stylish, yeah, my California socks and flip-flops. I hope so. Yeah, I just wanted to get on though. I know everybody's all cooped up, and I'm kind of used to this, but I saw a lot of my Facebook friends and my online friends kind of freaking out at being locked in for so long, and I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much, but friends, got a few friends that were trying out the live thing, so I wanted to also put it out there. My podcast and all that still exists, but going live is a little bit interesting. Yeah, there's gonna be a weird lag. I don't know how to fix that. Um, Somebody asks a question, somebody else lags in between. Um, but if you just throw your any questions, comments in there, I'll just keep talking and then come back to it later. So I guess while we're sitting here waiting on it to start up a little bit, this is kind of my studio area room. I have a bunch of whiteboards. I keep all my ideas and things on. Very essential. I've got 6 of them around the room actually. That right there is one of my prints. They don't really show up as well as I like them to online, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to take more pictures of them. And that over there is a little hand-painted Venom I did. It's kind of a test piece. Let me see if I can get that done. So the idea with something like this was to paint it as smoothly as possible so it kind of looks like a print, but it's not. It's actually on a canvas. I'll probably do some more of those. Let's see, who else is in here? I can't tell because Facebook is weird right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Lisa started growing the hair out after I got pissed off at my barber, actually. I was in the barber shop and I was telling him about what I wanted to do with my life. Alright. So I was at the barber shop talking to the barber, and you know, barbers are kind of like bartenders. They can really, if you get to know them, you know, they can start to help you out and talk through your problems, and you know, just a guy to rap to. But after a while, he was telling me a bunch of things I didn't want to hear, like, you know, you need to go ahead and give up and just face the facts. And, you know, listen to what your boss tells you. Not that bosses are always wrong, but in this particular instance, he was talking to me. He was explaining how the boss that I was listening to was right no matter what, just because he was a boss. And I was like, well, I know plenty of bosses who aren't right, so you got to push back on that, right? Well, not according to him. So, and a lot of it, he stopped cutting my hair, turned my chair around completely, and says to me, "You need to learn how to play ball." And when he said I need to learn how to play ball, I was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, well, you just need to learn how to, you know, not be yourself, not have an opinion, not just play ball. So I kind of just nodded my head, you know, because I'm not going to argue with the barber in the middle of a haircut because you don't want a messed up haircut. So I kind of nodded my head and listened to him. And after it was done, you know, shook hands, talked to him a little bit more, and left. Later on, you know, my face was starting to get a little scratchy and the hair was growing. And I thought about calling the barber back and saying, hey, I need a new appointment. Then I went to another barber shop instead. Still hadn't taken the commitment. Went to another barber shop, and right when I walked in, I just heard the same people, same type of people talking the same kind of noise. And I got a haircut from there, but it wasn't my old barber, it wasn't my old barber shop. And after that, I was like, that's it, done. As part of a penance or something, I just decided to grow my hair out as an act of rebellion. And there were other reasons, but it was a change I wanted to do. So yeah, so things were definitely crazy. Yeah, no, I like the look too, and it happens to work out now because I I really don't have to go to a barber now, so a lot of people are running around with scruffy heads, and I'm kind of like, I'm good. So I feel happy now. Give me 1 second while I prepare some suspicious liquid. It's good liquid. Spilled some earlier. Have to do something about that. So yeah, I've was on Facebook and watching everybody, jump through Facebook. Some lurkers, some people who are commenting all the time. All right. I'll see you later, Alicia. Thanks for stopping by. Good talking to you. And yeah, I was just going through Facebook and noticed a lot of stress about being on Facebook. Like they didn't want to be on Facebook if they didn't have to, but they really couldn't talk to people any other way. What do you think, Scott? I understand. Oh wait, you're on Scott, you're on East Coast time, right? So yeah, it's got to be a little later for you, I guess. And yes, at least you did spell drink correctly. D-R-A-N-K is how you spell drink. So yeah, I just wanted to drop by and give a couple, five little tips for dealing with Facebook, because I'm happy with Facebook. Let me turn the music down. I'm happy with Facebook, but I know a lot of people, it stresses a lot of people out. So should have written them down in front of me, but I have them on my whiteboard. Oh yeah, definitely part of the time lag. They said they bumped up our internet speed here in the neighborhood, because of the coronavirus and everything, but I haven't noticed a big difference. I think they're trying to scam everybody into a higher speed or something, acting altruistic, I guess, but we'll see what Cox decides to do. But yeah, Facebook. Number one thing I've found out: use groups. I don't even engage in the normal timeline that much anymore. I find groups, I create groups with my friends, and I use groups all the time now. There are far too many random discussions happening for me to try to keep up with on the main timeline. So when I use groups, it doesn't have to be a big group either. It can be 2, 5, 50 people. I just find people talking about something like comic books. If I've seen 5 or so people talking about comic books, I just invite them into a group, and whenever I want to talk about comic books, I go into that group. Got one for video games, got one for music I listen to, all kinds of stuff. They may not have a lot of traction when you first get started, but after you create a couple, you'll find that it works out a lot better. And that's how it works in real life too. And if you go to the new Facebook now, or even the old Facebook, I think has it. If you go on the top, you'll see they put groups right there, dead center. So groups is a very important thing to use for Facebook. They're pushing it. They understand the need for Facebook to segment their audience and how they look at things. So using groups is good. It'll definitely keep your stress level down. As I said, I don't go to the main page anymore. I usually have a link on the top of my browser that takes me straight into a group. And, because jumping into a random something on the news feed is just you're liable to run into anything. Somebody talking about Joe Biden, there's an argument and discussion, and you get dragged into it. You don't want that. Alright. 2, unfollow people. I have a lot of friends on Facebook that like to talk about a lot of stuff, but I have a lot of friends that I wouldn't want to hear from daily. I don't unfriend them, I unfollow. So you can always unfollow people to clean up your timeline. Makes everything nice, happy, neat. I was going to interrupt this, but I'll keep going. 3, don't leave Facebook open. You leave Facebook open, you're probably going to find something to do. That's Facebook's goal. They will find something for you to do. In fact, I'm almost convinced that Facebook will know that you're online and will show your content to somebody else. And then if that person likes your content, then you'll get a notification. And I'm pretty sure that the more you engage with Facebook while you're there, they'll show your content more while you're online, which means you'll get more engagement, which means you'll stay on longer. So if you're not trying to get roped into anything, comment, post, like, follow, whatever, and then log off or close down the browser at least. And then when you come back later, you'll get your notifications, but I don't think you'll get as many as or as pointed a series of notifications as you would if you were on all the time. Maybe just a theory. I have no idea what Zuckerberg is doing, but that's how I guess it happens. And let's see. Number 4, if you're posting links, media, anything, always post links and media with commentary. If you're just posting, in fact, my main timeline, I only post commentary, and then I put the link in the comments. But, you know, if you log on and everyone's just posting different links, different memes, different whatever, it brings down the quality of all the posts. It brings down the quality of everything you're engaging with on Facebook. So, you know, post links and things with commentary. And let's see, who else? And finally, I could go on for hours on this one, but have civil conversations. Leave arguments alone. I've had friends discussing flat Earth and arguing with people who have graduated with master's degrees in college, who still believe in the flat Earth. And, you know, these discussions can go on for weeks. And I know because I had a mini week-long, was it months? I had a discussion that went on maybe a couple months about Star Wars. I'll leave it at that. Just went on about Star Wars. And it wasn't like a fun, ha-ha, you know, punch you in the shoulder, laugh at it kind of Star Wars conversation. It was a, I'm not sure I like you anymore conversation. It got really serious and heated in a lot of different angles. So after that, I learned to calm down and just take everything much lighter. Learn how to deal with those discussions. So having civil discourse in your discussion, it's actually something you have to practice online as opposed to in person. In person, these things can kind of, you know, break up and dissipate and go their own ways. But arguing online it's not healthy. So I really don't do that anymore. And let's see. So yeah, those are the 5 things I have to say about Facebook. Having them the top 5 things. So once again, I'll post a link or something or a more in-depth discussion later. In fact, I actually want to make like a strategy guide on how to deal with Facebook. Basically taking all my Facebook health tips and condensing them down into book form. I think that'll be good. So yeah, use groups, unfollow people, don't leave Facebook open randomly, post media with commentary, and have civil discourse. Those 5 things have helped me immensely. I wrote a list of over 50 things that have helped me, but those are probably the top 5. They may not seem like much, but they really help out. So let's see. We got somebody else in here now. Alright, cool. So let's see. Also, what's happening now with me? I just saw the. Actually, should Facebook need a strategy guide? Yes. And the reason I say that is, I say that because I'm one of the people who will find a calculator and figure out what all the buttons are for. Because it's so large of a platform. I mean, you're talking about over 2 billion people, and they're trying to figure out how to make one single platform that works for 2 billion people. The algorithms can help to an extent, like, well, hey, maybe this guy doesn't like this type of content, or hey, maybe this guy or this group deal with their privacy settings in a certain way. Maybe you can start breaking that up by community, by country, by language. But you've got a lot to deal with in terms of designing for everybody. With game design, with website design, with most other types of design, I think you can design with a certain audience in mind. But what do you do if your audience is everybody? You have to make something really generic, and that's problematic in a lot of ways. Because the way I use Facebook is not the way you use Facebook. Thanks for this question, Scott. This is great. So putting together just, I mean, there are guidelines for driving. There are guidelines for going to the movies. Everybody, when you see the little line, everybody waits in that line. And if you're not going by the guidelines, you'll see somebody just run to the front and everybody starts yelling at them. Then you have arguments. There are guidelines in place for all these other activities. And it's really difficult to build something like that for an online platform where everybody thinks, well, I should be able to say what I want. I think I should be able to do what I want. And you miss a lot of context, especially with, just text. And you've had to have experienced this in a conversation where you say something like, oh, shut up. And then somebody jumps in and says, you can't tell me to shut up, or leave him alone, or leave her alone, or leave me out of this. And you could be talking to the wrong person, a different person. They could just be saying, like, sarcastically, oh, shut up, or, get out of here with that. Just kind of joking, but no one knows that. They're just taking it at face value, and people assume negativity. For whatever reason online, they're assuming negativity. And, I don't like jumping online. Hey, what's up, Derek? See you join the group. We're just talking about Facebook and staying sane on this thing, because Facebook's the only way a lot of us are getting outside and seeing and talking with other people. So I decided to jump on. But yeah, I think you definitely need some type of guidelines that people can stop and think about. Some type of ways to interact. And as intelligent as the guys are over at Facebook, they're starting to push out groups, like I was saying, because they understand that's how people communicate more effectively. But even with that type of change, people are still going to go in there and be dum-dums. They're treating complete strangers like they would treat, a friend of 20 years. So how do you deal with that? You gotta have some type of guide. At least I think that's helpful. Don't know. It's a very, very difficult problem, but for someone who spends a lot of time trying to maximize social media, jump on, get a good engagement, get my ideas out there quickly, and then jump off without getting roped into the downward spiral of social media angst and anxiety, which I have experienced before. I just think a lot of people would benefit from a sort of guide. So yeah, I think it's some people would look into. Is it a Facebook guide or a life guide? Aha. I wouldn't be haughty enough, I wouldn't want to assume that I'd be able to put together a life guide. So I like to cover up that bit of pride within myself that I can tell anybody about their lives, and just wrap it up in here's how to exist peacefully on Facebook, because I've done it plenty of times. I've jumped all around, smooth things out. I am not about stress anymore, which is, as I told you, is why I grew this out, because Barber Dude was stressing me out, and it led down to this path. But yeah, I think people would like that. Something I've thought about a lot, so at the very least I want to put it out there for the people who weren't used to Facebook or aren't used to online communication, and then they find themselves forced to communicate online and they don't know what the hell is going on or why people are talking a certain way. I still see this happening, so I'll try that out. Yeah, speaking of online, I was really impressed. I guess I'm jumping off Facebook for a second. Really impressed with the Travis Scott concert. I'm not sure either any of you in there saw the Travis Scott Fortnite in-game concert. I think that's a complete game changer. It's crazy what they did with that. The gravity of that event, I don't think has been felt yet, and it may not ever. People may not ever look back and say, "Oh, it was this time when that happened." But there are a lot of naysayers about the Travis Scott Fortnite event. Gamers are saying, "I don't even like Fortnite." Technology heads are like, "Well, it wasn't that impressive in terms of technology." Music fans were like, "Well, I really don't even like Travis Scott that much anyway." But it's one of those things where everything came together. I'll put a link for this in the after I finish up here. I'm going to wrap up soon. Don't want to hang out too long. About a half hour sounds good. But yeah, that was a big major event. And it just got me really thinking about how much we're moving things into this new online era. And if you don't know, quick recap. Basically, Travis Scott held this event in the game Fortnite. Fortnite's a multiplayer game where people log on, they run around shooting each other, and every so often they have these events. These events can be, usually it's a plug for something. Star Wars wanted to hype up The Last Skywalker. It was kind of Marshmello had a concert there. It was basically what you'd expect. A couple people standing around a virtual stage and the music was playing. It was good, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't anything that was going to blow your mind. So Fortnite has these events. You get 30, 50 or so people in this little area, and an event happens. And everybody talks about it, and it's fun, and you go about your business. What happened with this event was the realization of a large-scale concert in a very small, contained area of the internet. And the people who were there and invested in it were treated to and if you saw it, you know what I mean, a literally larger-than-life kind of event where you saw the parallels of a concert where the artist is larger than life getting played out in this online event. Kids were going crazy. People were talking about it on Facebook. They're calling their friends, "Oh my God, did you see it? Let's go to this showing," because it had a couple shows for the weekend. It was like any other kind of concert event where it happens a couple days at different show times, and you go there. You sign on like you're buying tickets. If you were early or a couple days even early and you logged on, you saw the posters in game, like actual music posters, but instead of being outside on the sidewalk, you'd see them in the game just posted up. These cryptic posters of something coming. All kinds of stuff was happening that kind of prepped people for this concert event. Concert happens, and at the same time, people were locked inside, basically. So they didn't have to, but they had an opportunity to jump in this event and see something crazy, new, and exciting happening that had never really happened before like this. So it was only 10 minutes long. A couple, I'll have the link for this too. A couple songs were played, and then at some point they started playing a new song. And the Travis Scott fans lost their minds. They're like, "Oh my God, this is a new song. It's going crazy." And they're flipping out. And it basically, as I said, did what a concert does. You ever been at a concert and all of a sudden they start playing something you've never heard before, or they bring somebody out onto the stage and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's Kid Cudi. They brought Kid Cudi out. That's that new song. Oh my gosh, that's what the promo was about when the artist posted the cover of oh, okay. And they start connecting all these dots. Happened in game. Right when it was over, you were able to go buy merchandise from Travis Scott's website. And if you know Travis Scott, he's big on clothing and apparel. His own Jordans were featured in the game, so people were going, bat crazy over that. It was crazy, out of control. One of the biggest game-changing events in terms of online, social media, music, and entertainment that I've seen in a while. So I'll post a link up for that too, and I think we'll be good. So yeah, I kind of like this. I think I'll jump on every so often, every once in a while, just talk to the Facebook family for a little bit. It is about a half hour, like I wanted to, 6:30 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here. In case you're wondering, this is my taco tea. I got to get some more. If you need some quarantine shirts while you're webcamming, I've got you. I'll link to all that. But thanks for hanging out. What's up, Derek? And I'll be back soon. Got any questions or ideas for the next one, let me know. Put them in the comments, post, like, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Back to my suspicious liquid. That's good.